Welcome to the Straight from the Source's Mouth podcast. Frank talk about sex and dating.
Hello, Tamara here. Welcome to the show. Today's guest is Hani Cheng. She's an author, intimacy and transformation coach, and global speaker. And we'll be talking about helping people have deeper, more connected, and radically honest relationships. Thanks for joining me, Hani.
Thank you. So excited to be here, as always.
Yes, I think that our listeners will get a lot from this. So let's dive right into it. And I know we can start with the author part of your title and just say, share what you talk about.
I've written an Amazon bestseller called You Only Live Once, Life and Business Innovation Style, which is basically, it was born out of my connection to my inner voice, where my inner voice actually spoke through me and told me what exactly I needed to do to stop a 15-year disease that nobody else could figure out. And so I had a methodology that kind of brought me to that stage during the 15 years of research. And that's all in that book, You Only Live Once. And I also have written many other ebooks as well, such as 4 tantalizing questions that you can ask to deepen relationships and your sexuality, relationship with your sexuality. And erectile dysfunction to erectile freedom is another one. We've got Central Liberation Playbook, which is liberating your connection with your inner senses, and the inner senses being like your pleasure itself, so your genitalia, and also the aliveness and desire that lives within you. And that desire can be a desire that is erotic. It could also be a desire that's about your purpose. It's a very intimate connection to who you truly are and how you want to be in the world. And then many more, so many more. My entire Instagram is just full of like poetry, and we're compiling that into a booklet, as well as activations, energy activations, which is another area that I work on. A lot of it is talking to our subconscious and removing any type of limitation from our thinking in many, many layers. So that's another collection as well.
Yeah, so lots of stuff. But I mean, and the other title about transformation coach, I'm sure a lot of it comes from that, just understanding that. Yeah. And I've had past guests who say you can choose, a lot of people think you ended up how you are and that's how you are. But, a lot of people in the transformation world know that you can choose differently. It's a little harder, but you can. So.
All the time.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the places where we get the most pain is actually a window for love. And that takes rewriting everything we know about it. Most recently, the feeling of jealousy and sexual freedom are in complete conflict. And so was taking people through that whole transformation of how to even rewrite their relationship with allowing their most loved one to feel and to pursue sexual freedom. And so that shows you that you can completely change a narrative about a topic.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I've had a few episodes about the lifestyle and swinging and that kind of stuff. So I'm guessing that's what you're referring to.
Not so much about that, because like some people are just simply doing that during like long distances or like different circumstances. So not necessarily like in a community context, but it's definitely about rewriting what we understand about love. And so that's very, very ingrained by mainstream media. And so, so doing a lot of transformational work really allows us to have our own narrative, our own blueprint, our own truth around what love is truthfully for us, as opposed to what we think it is. And that's part of the reason why radical honesty is so important.
Yeah. And I guess the biggest trick on that is knowing yourself. Like you can, and then like you said, subconscious stuff too. So I want to say more about that, just how you get people to see what they really want, or.
Totally. Not only just see what they really want, but see like in the process of getting to what you really want, so many things could come in conflict with that. And then recognizing those subconscious voices as deterrence rather than truth is so important, for sure.
Yeah, especially like your family. A lot of people want to do what other people tell them to do or what they should do, and they just kind of go along to not be in conflict. So yeah, I can see where it'd be hard to choose your own path, and a lot of people lose friends and stuff potentially. But if it's very true to you and, like you said, radically honest. And what is the first step to even, or how does that process like start and go?
The first step is really understanding that we actually have a part of us that's connected to this bigger picture, that has a bird eye view of like everything that is happening. In my philosophy, I call it our infinite being, which is basically a part of us that exists beyond our skin, right? Imagine our hearts expanding into the ethers of the universe. And so the first step is really connecting to that. So we're not in our egos only, or only in our brains, or only in our hearts, or only in our genitalia, or only in our bodies. We're beyond as well. We're getting to see things from a much larger perspective of a place of like infinite love, or maybe it's a place of like, I want to see things from a limitless perspective. And then what do I actually want in this? How do I want to live my life? Do I want to live it fully with conflict where I get triggered all the time? Do I want to live it in freedom of, emotions, that I'm able to work through emotions and come out the other end and always find my way back to a centered, grounded, content, like peaceful excitement and things like that? And how do I want to conduct my day-to-day in the face of challenges, right? And then understanding that, and then it's slowly crafting it back to what is my inner voice telling me that I actually want, and is this voice contaminated with, or does it have influence of others, or is it a true voice? And then really feeling into what's going to make you feel the lightest and the most expanded if you're looking to experience your potential. And and then the second step is trusting that's potential, trusting your desire, trusting that your desire is going to lead you to, if it's an honest, sacred, like deep, like internal desire that is really speaking to you through this like humble, calm voice. And it's not like that, I need to get that, I need it. It's not like that. Like this, the flavor of that voice is like, I do have this, like, I really, really would love this in my life. Like, it's sort of like that kind of an energy that it comes out of. And when you do hear that, then to trust that, you do deserve something like that, even if it's taboo, even if it's completely unconventional, even though it's something that you've never even thought that could be something you'd want. It's to actually entertain that and then figure out what you need to do in order to reorientate yourself to be the steward of this desire. It's almost like birthing a child through a birth canal. If you're really wanting, let's say in a relationship, 100% truth, trust, freedom, honesty, maybe you're looking at a place where your orgasm is constantly growing, and or something where you feel liberated and in choice and clarity, you want to co-create, then it's about not settling and about how to cultivate that and then putting that into action. But you got to first believe that it's true and that you can actually have these things at the levels that you're looking at.
Yeah, I was going to share an example. But then you talked about relationships, so we'll see if it fits. But I always wanted to try stand-up comedy, and it scared me to death. And I never thought I would do it in a million years. And I ended up, like, after a breakup, I took a class and started doing it for like 3 years. But it was something like I always deep down knew I wanted to try, but I was like so scared. But I'm very glad I did it. And then it turned into this podcast because I did that for 3 years and then talk about the same stuff now in the podcast. So.
Are you going to be telling jokes for us then during my podcast?
Yeah, that's you would think, but it's funny. Like I don't usually get into the funny stuff in this, but it's just the topics that became out of it because I was newly dating, so I was talking about dating and sex in all of my stand-up. So it's more the topics than the fun part.
So there's another aspect, right? Another aspect of this infinite being is that it is it is always fresh. It's like going for something exciting. It's fun. It's light. It's like creative. And so when you know that there's something in you that is so deep that wants to come through and you entertain it, that in itself is life-giving. We're looking at things that are giving us life, right? If we're a renewable source of energy, like how are we going to charge our batteries? We charge our batteries with experiences that are aligned to us. So if it's aligned to us, we can take that 100% charge and put it in, and we can probably get like 90% charge. But if it's not aligned, you can eat like, I don't know, 5,000 McDonald's hamburgers, no offense to those who love it. And it might not fulfill the hunger that you're wanting to fill. So feed ourselves with things that light us up, that are from deep within, that's the most pleasurable and exploratory, rewarding experiences. And it's harder to find that as you grow older, like as we age, because we try so many new things already in our lives. And then you're like, I've already done this or done that. And maybe, your whole life you've already been exploring. And then it's about finding layers and nuances and depth.
Hi, everyone. Sorry for the interruption. I just wanted to point out that there is a send us a text message at the very beginning of the description, and you can use that to send an anonymous question or comment. So I'd really appreciate it. All right. Thanks. Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm not sure if this flows right here, but you talk about the role of energy, consent, and body language in magnetic connection. I can see where if you want that, you kind of make it happen. Is that where you would go with that statement? Or
so for me, I really like to operate as a signal. So what I mean by that is like a lighthouse, right? The way I like to operate is I like to make my energy connected. So we talked about infinite being in the beginning of this podcast. Infinite being is the part of you that sees everything, and that is infinite. So I like to have my infinite being in me and my actions be congruent. And what that means is that the inner voices that I hear, I'm taking action on them, and I'm making decisions based on my value systems, which is basically based on how I want my life to look like, right? And so in our teachings, we really look through, like, let's say freedom is a freedom, and true self and choice might be three words that you identify in. I think it's like chapter 1, where we look at your yummy commitments, your unique magnetic momentum. So then when I feed myself that experience of freedom and that experience of choice and that experience of fun, I think actually for me it's freedom, fun, and inspired connections. These are my 3 big ones, and then there's a lot of ancillary ones, and then that creates an energy of me. So for you, what might that be? For you as in listeners, what is the thing that when you get it, like you just feel that life is worthy of living, like this is what life is about, like everything is going great, right? And then that's energy. And when you're naturally charging yourself up with these things that make you feel happy, then when things are taking you down, you got to see that is it a violation of one of your sources of life, right? So these are like life force units. It's like you putting in life force energy into you. And then from there, you become you as a lighthouse. You're filled with your own version of these elements and these words that are expressing themselves through you. And that's why you become magnetic. It's unique. Your unique magnetic momentum is your unique, right? Because these words and who you are is unique. What charges you up is unique. And then it's magnetizing, because when we see someone truly standing in who they are and not afraid to authentically be them, and they're just beautiful, no matter what shape. It's not a visual beauty. It is an energetic beauty. It is a beauty that is like shining through the inside. It's like as if it's like radiating out from, like the way that I see it for women, it's like our wombs, our genitalia, it's like radiating through our faces. It's like that feeling of beyond pregnant to glow type of glow. And then for men as well, it's like that sense of like relaxation and easy charm and and ease of connection, and just not being attached to the world. You're feeling just naturally confident. And that's what that radiance and that magnetism is really about. And when we're talking about energy work, we're talking about any thought process or any idea that's coming in to even challenge your radiance, that dims you down or that makes you feel even slightly more insecure, then needs to be examined, because you and your radiance and you and your confidence and you and your magnetism is not someone who loops in your head and starts feeling bad about something that happened, and then each time it loops in your head feeling worse about it. That type of looping behavior now a lot of times goes past our consciousness, so we don't even realize we're doing it, because there's some of the thoughts have been there for a long time. But when we realize it and we notice that, then it's just like, oh my gosh, like I got hooked into that programming again. And it's really about now house cleaning and awareness in your energetic field to stay true. And when you're so potent in who you are and so clear in the signal that you're spreading out, which is the first part of this topic that I was sharing, then things appear in your life that is an exact match or a very close match to win-win. So win-win-win situations start happening. You're just like, wow, like how did this puzzle piece immediately slide into my life as an opportunity, as something that you're wanting? I hope that's not too meta.
No, I had that exact example. It's like several times where I just happened to meet the right person at the right time. And it's like, there's no reason it should have happened, like we're only two people in the room. And that was like the one person in the entire city I needed to talk to. So yeah, I definitely see that kind of stuff happen. And
awesome. Then you're leveraging less pushing, which is you can analyze and plan your way through that. You could have like gone through every phone book and every internet search to look for that person and try to organize a call and this, or you could leverage off of this synchronicity, flow, or ease, or just trust that you being you is going to land you in the spot. But our work is to be us in the most healed version, as some might put it, or the most clear signal. And that's the most important part in that whole energy clearing phase.
Yeah. And I know it's easier said than done to heal it. Like, how do you heal the subconscious stuff that's there?
Yeah, I have a million examples. Every single call is about taking those subconscious thoughts apart. Maybe you could give me an example of something that you hear often from your clients, or just in the grapevines.
Yeah, well, actually, I'll say I did this on a previous episode, but we didn't really get to it. So for some reason, whenever I dress up, I get bitchier with like in a relationship. Like I just like something, I'm sure it's like, insecurities or something, but when I dress up and look my best and I'm going on a date, that's when I get like mean to my partner. Like, I don't know if I don't know.
Do you feel, are you, so the way that I would look at that is, are you getting meaner to your partner? So like, is your infinite being getting meaner to your partner? We're going straight to the deep end. I could do this on the intellectual level, and we could do this like NLP stuff, and we can do this coaching style, but I'm going to go straight to, let's see what energy this is coming from. Okay. So listeners, this is like the energy work. We're going, there's layers. There's like, you can analyze it. You can go to psychological layer. You can go to intellectual layer, but we're just going to go straight to read the energy. So this, the meaner part, I would like to see, is it your infinite being that is being mean to your partner? And so you just want to perceive that as from your intuition, which is like a light or heavy feeling. Okay. And then is it your infinite body that is being mean to your partner? Or is it something else that's interfering that's being mean to your partner? So you're kind of just asking yourself these three questions, and you're sensing what category has the most information, or that feels lighter. What did you get?
Yeah, that's the part I get stuck on. Like, and maybe we don't use this, but I will try to go there.
Okay, well, I can help you as well.
Yeah.
So it's very common to get stuck to hear your inner voice, like what we talked about earlier in this call, like hearing our inner voice and letting our inner voice share with us, like what's actually happening. Because our inner voice sometimes, like a radio station, could have so many Wi-Fi and frequency and signals going through it. So it's really important to clear that first, because your inner voice actually lives like almost under the river in a very peaceful place, and we need to like get through all of the stuff to actually get into the middle and the core of it. So if you're willing, I could do a quick breath work practice to clear out the energy and then just see what it is. And then for listeners, you could do this for yourself as well if you want to be clearing in your field today, if you're up for it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So so take a deep breath in, and you're just wanting to breathe in through your perineum all the way up your back of your spine. This is a common breath work that I teach that I love. And then as you exhale, see that breath come down your front of your face, and then ground everything that's in your field down into the center of the earth, exhaling with a sigh. Deep breath in again, bringing in all the energy from the bottom of your body up through your spine. And in this exhale, I want you to exhale through your heart, your pelvis, and your throat, and then radiate that into the room. Take a deep breath into your heart and your pelvis and your head again. And expand all the way out to the ends of this earth. In your exhale, good. And now take a deep breath in again. And expand all the way into the ends of the universe and beyond. I want you to connect with a part of you that is infinite. So breathing in. Imagine just a space that is you, because as you're exhaling, you're reaching out towards the part of you that is able to travel that far. And then just find a spot that it keeps going and going and going and going all the way, and further on until there's no end. And just feel yourself expand in those direction and connect with your infinite being, or that sense of that endlessness that keeps expanding. Beautiful. And then from this place, we're going to just check in with those three answers and those three questions again. Being mean, is this a message from, is your infinite being feeling mean? Breathe in and notice the weight of this in your body. Is it medium weight? You can rank it from like 1 to 5, 5 being the heaviest and 1 being the lightest. You can just take note, and then you inhale, let that go. And then you can ask, is this being mean scenario a infinite? How much of this is your infinite body feeling mean? Breathing in. Notice that experience and notice that heavier lightness from 1 to 5. Okay. And then is there something else that's interfering, that's being mean? Breathing in. And exhale and experience that. You just want to share with me what feels the most expansive and lightest, more closer to a 1.
I say the lightest are the first and the last.
The first and the last one, right? Yeah. And if you were to compare the first one and the last one, is there one that's slightly lighter?
Probably the last one.
Yeah. So we're like infinite beings feeling mean?
No, the second one is definitely the body is the meanest, and then the infinite being is just like a.
But the last one is the lightest, right?
Yeah. Just like
so the last one.
I was just saying, it's definitely not external.
But it is. So this is the trick. The last one is the lightest. So the last one is actually influencing the body, which is then creating the thoughts. And so it's actually an external, not that it's influenced by external, but the construct is one that is not your truth and who you really are. So when you feel into your love and your infinity, and you feel like how you really feel in this beautiful dressed up position, she's just strutting along, in her like beauty and just walking in the thing, and you're enjoying it. There is a little bit of that dominance feeling, but there's pride, and there's also that feeling of, like, I'm gorgeous and I know it. Like that sort of experience, right? And then there's that edge that's coming, that there's that edge of that meanness, but it's not necessarily like an authentic meanness, because it's actually something that's influenced when we tuned into infinite being, infinite body, or something else. The something else is a lot lighter, which means that there's something else that likes to hijack the space and put that little edge in there.
Yeah.
And it's not yours, because your truth is that you just want to radiate your beauty and you just want to radiate your confidence.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but when you mentioned dominance, like that was kind of it too. I start taking charge more, like when I'm in that state, and I'm trying to be in my feminine, of not, letting the man take charge or being, I don't know. Yeah.
It's so much fun. Sorry we went there. I hope that was all right and fun for you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So, but back to your stuff, or like, obviously this is part of your stuff, this is what you do as well. But,
yeah. So listeners, like, it's really just, like, if you were to look at your own thing, it's really about looking at, where are these voices coming from? When you're not yourself, you feel a little bit off, right? And so in this particular example, what you can see, if I may kind of just share the learnings from it, is that when we're feeling a little meaner, or we're feeling a little bit kind of more or less than who we feel we are, then we can always ask, is this our truth, right? So infinite being and infinite body are both our bodies and our being. So these are our truths. And then there's also external factors that could be interfering with that. It could be interfering in the dial of it, 0 to 100. It could over exaggerate certain things. It could trigger us, whatnot. So the important thing, or the trick here, is to decipher, how can we be the most radiant and true version of ourselves? Maybe that dominance in this particular case is the trueness. And there's also femininity. Then the discovery is, what is that feminine dominance that is both electrifying and also in surrender, and at the same time radiating confidence? So that would be the fun mixture that I would explore. I don't know if that
yeah,
resonates.
no, I can see that, where, yeah, like kind of use it a different way, or see it a different way, maybe. But yeah, I like the feminine version of dominance, like you said.
Totally, like the beauty of it, right? And our vaginas are beautiful, and they are sometimes very not demanding, but they know what they want. And so in that sense, you are creating and co-creating this experience in your femininity. And so I think that really lends really well into some of the work that I do, that is all about listening to our feminine through our genitals, and also through our hearts. Right? Our authenticity lives in our heart. We have our authentic genitalia that also speaks through us. And if we can really listen to what she wants instead of what we want, there's a difference in communication. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping or just shifting into this gear.
Yeah. And how does that work in a relationship? Do you talk about it, or you just are your best selves with each other? Or how do you like tackle relationship stuff or coaching?
Tell me more. So like talking to the genitalia inside of a relationship, or more like relationship connection and deepening the connection?
Yeah, the last part, like deepening a relationship while both of you kind of utilizing your own like life force or genitalia, or like, kind of both being your best
Yeah.
versions, and how you work together, like how you get.
So I love doing, so what I was sharing with you guys earlier was to have a vision of where and what this relationship is for, right? So for example, I'll give you a list that my most recent client was sharing, which I was kind of referring to because it was just kind of pulled up on my screen when I was writing notes. So which is basically, we come up with a relationship vision of what this relationship is created for, right? It's created to embody both of our true selves. Someone might tell me. They might say that, it's created to give ourselves a container to fully show up in 100% respect for each other. It's created to support each other's freedom. We want to support the best selves of each other, and that those two selves are free. And it is to, support each other's choices. And we want naturally to time and time again to return to the choice of choosing each other. That might be something that someone else might come with as well. And so there's a list that includes, maybe it also creates radical truth, right? And we want this relationship to be a place where I can fully be true to myself and you can be fully true to yourself. And then we both bring our true selves to the table and we love each other because we are true to ourselves. We're not dimming our light. We're not putting ourselves in a box. We're not putting ourselves out of a box for no reason. We're really allowing ourselves to be dynamic. And that's truth, right? Living in truth. And this relationship is supporting each other. So these are some of the things people might share. And then from there, then it's about supporting each other to do that, whether in the context of the actual relating. So like when you're having a conflict and you're having a broken down trust, or you have a fight, like how do you repair? And then keeping all of these elements in place as a guiding light: true self, respect, choice, truth, clarity, co-creation. I have here as well on a list: financial freedom, love, safety, authentic play, attunement. These are some of the values, and these are some of the things: and embodied connection, adventure, multi-orgasmic love. And so then when shit hits the fan, you go back to this list and you're like, okay, how can we together honor these pieces of us? And then how can we honor the container of the relationship and sort through this so that it redirects everything that kind of exploded? Let's redirect it back in this direction. That's the first thing. The second thing is now working it through. We talked about talking and speaking through genitalia. This can also be true self. What is the truth of what my genitals want today? Is it going to be something that I think that I want? That's from yesterday. Is it something that I think I want in the future? Or is it what I actually really want? That's about presence, mindfulness, speaking, connecting, and being able to support each other to come to that communication process in your actual intimate session, right? And that's like a context that you and your partner will be, either you would talk about like, hey, like let's support each other's true pleasures or authentic pleasures today. And let's do it intentionally by tuning in, and let's both speak to each other's desire. And we can either speak to our genitals, or we can, sometimes people have this, this visual that they want. And I really enjoy the body speaking, because the body is the one that's experiencing a lot of the pleasure. Unless if you have a visual, it's really in your head as well. So it's really want to tune into your body. Respect, right? Respect. How can I respect your pleasure today? Freedom. How can your pleasure feel free? So it's not in a script. It's not being followed in a narrative how can your orgasm be unscripted today? So you're not doing the same strokes, the same positions, the same speed, the same pressure to get there. If you're wanting to explore the aspect of freedom and choice and novelty today. how can we co-create it? Co-creation is another value, right? How can we co-create it today? How can it be something that is, maybe like 5 seconds me, 5 seconds you, or it's like, let's all focus on you and then let's all focus on me. How can we do this in a way that is collaborative and we're both getting ourselves to the most beautiful connection? And how can we take the pressure off, right? So that's about safety. Safety is taking the pressure off. So we're not going anywhere. We're not trying to get to any orgasm. We're trying to just feel intimate. We're just trying to feel happy. And we want to feel the happiest, recharged, like that light bulb that we talked about earlier, recharged with life force as much as possible. That's our intention for today. So I don't care how we're going to do it. Maybe today's kissing. Maybe I just want a really good cuddle. Maybe I want a really dynamic wrestle, or I want to like play around like little kittens in dirt, whatever that is, right? It's like really like finding that playfulness, getting into that mode of like, what is really desiring to flow through me, and then allowing that to play. And some people and some of the clients I coach, we go as far as let's explore multidimensional orgasms. Let's explore transcendental connection. And then the connection aspect happens through communication in all of these aspects. The arousal level, the desire, the nuances of understanding how to increase pleasure. Sometimes it's emotional pleasure. I want you to connect with me and tell me what you love about me and how I handled the last conflict we had and what you appreciate about it, right? It's like super specific. Tell me which part of that conversation touched your heart the most. When did you open? Did you have a heart on at any point of the conversation? Like things like that, you can really like draw out what you need so that you're feeling so loved, seen, heard, felt, cherished, worshipped. Or if you want to be a bad girl or you want to be this and that, you just ask for that too.
Yeah.
And you ask your partner what is going to be the most for a lot of our clients is a very nourishing love that they really desire, and they desire nourishing love, and they want play in a very safe environment. So even if it goes intense, there's always like a moment where you drop in and you're like, are you still enjoying this? Okay. Like, what part did you enjoy? Okay, let's get back in there. So there's that like dynamicism of that. There's a lot of care in handling and ushering and co-creating your scenario and your session. Does that give you a little bit of on everybody?
Yes, for sure. And seems like a good time to say how they can reach you if they want to work with you, since you've shared a lot of different things.
All of the skills that I shared about, we teach in the Sensual Liberation Program. You can search for me at https://Tantra Singapore, TANTRA, tantrasingapore.com. And you can check that out. I have a YouTube channel as well, Hani Cheng. And in Tantra Singapore, just click on Intimacy Coaching. I coach leaders to be liberated leaders. So that's a leadership coaching aspect, but we include sensuality and embodiment. And then intimacy coaching, we go into all the multi-orgasmic practices that create more confidence and your own signal.
Awesome. And then are there any, or a last like takeaway or a couple takeaways that you want to just, remind people?
I just want to remind you that the feeling and the inspiration to act is a sacred calling. So when you do feel inspired to take action, whether that's on your desire or that's in a way that just wants you to make your life a little bit more exciting, more beautiful, more real, more true, take that. If that comes in the form of a decision, if it comes in the form of an action, if it comes in the form of reaching out to someone who can support you, or a community that is supportive, do it. Get yourself into that zone, be surrounded by those ideas, and then watch your beautiful infinite being unfold.
Awesome. I think great way to end it. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge and how to reach you. So appreciate it very much. And I appreciate it. Yep. And
thank you for allowing us to use your story as an example.
Thank you. And I was to say, if you love this episode, be sure to tell your friends about it and rate it as well. All right. Well, thanks.
Rate it. Tell us about how much part resonated.
All right. Thanks again. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Frank Talk, Sex and Dating educates.